All right, so I would like to start by doing a sense check, if that is all right.
Sure.
Okay. What's my range on sense? Probably not good enough. 3 light side points. We've traveled through the darkness, and our way is lit by the Kyber. I don't think Kel got his Kyber crystal on this planet, but he feels the connection, and that buzz of darkness before is replaced by a sort of faint hum from these crystals, faint hum in the force. And he reaches out, spending 1 pip to sense all living things within short range, spending another pip to increase that to medium range. And can I ask if I sense anybody before spending the third pip within medium range, within, say, shouting distance?
Okay, so you're seeking out life forms.
Yeah.
These tunnels before you, this tunnel that you can hear from the echo that it goes down very deeply into the earth of Bavva. It's pretty far. It's pretty deep. Tell me again your success.
I'm spending 2 of the pips, 2 of 3, to sense all living things within medium range.
Boy, medium range? That's not very far.
It's shouting distance.
It's not very far. I do want to say that in medium range, you get faint hums of life. Is there a way you can, increase the range of this check?
I can only go up to medium, but with those faint hums, then there is life. I would like to spend my 3rd pip to sense thoughts.
Okay. How interesting. Go ahead.
It is spent. Go ahead.
I think that the thoughts that you sense are foggy, and I'm going to say that that's because of the range. They're too far for you to get any distinguishable words necessarily. You get emotions. You sense a lot of anger. You sense some fear. You sense a feeling of anger steeped in vengeance. You get a feeling of fear that seems to come from self-preservation. And I'll allow some sort of directionality to that. As the 3 of you continue forward, surrounded by these luminescent crystals, you come to a place where the cave kind of diverges into 4 paths. The glimmer of life seems strongest with the 2 center paths.
I can sense them. I can't tell if it's down this path or the one to its right.
I thought you'd been down here. Do you not know which path leads to the tunnel?
These tunnels are winding. They go everywhere. They both go where we want to go. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get there.
Should we split up so we can get there? Whoever is able to get there sooner can save some time.
It's probably not the best idea based on our previous experiences with the Nihil.
I would like to make a perception check.
Okay. Awesome.
It's dark down here, right?
Dark. Dark's going to give you 1 setback.
I'm going to ignore that and use Farsight.
All right.
What's my difficulty?
It's going to be 2 purple.
Okay. Kind of given up caring about the dark side answering me. I'm using those pips so that I can see through the dark.
How many?
Okay.
Lodee's emotional weakness is martyrdom. Yeah.
How many pips are you using?
2. 2 dark side pips.
Okay.
2 successes and a threat.
And you're basically seeing through the walls of the cave now.
Wow.
Definitely through the darkness. And I can actually make out fine details on any objects I can see within medium range. Or at least a object.
Awesome. Okay. I want to tell you how this succeeds. What you find as you look around is that you're seeing through this low lighting seems to follow what Kel is sensing. You see more life down these 2 center paths, The other life is not as dense. It's almost like between you and Kel, you can kind of hear almost like indescript kind of chatter. Of the 4 paths from the 2 on your right and left, not the center 2, you hear this kind of very familiar just hum of Nihil wreck punk.
Just can't stop listening to this music.
It's their greatest flaw and their biggest downfall. From the center paths, you hear more like conversation, angry conversation. More emotions are coming from these 2. You can tell that people are in distress in both paths ahead of you. And I think that's like one of your successes, and the other that is more like visual. You look over towards a glowing crystal, and you see actually a very obvious blinking red light. On closer inspection, you can see that this is a detonator of some kind.
Bekros,
Yes.
there's a detonator on the wall there.
Who would put a detonator on? Oh, right. Dealing with the Nihil. Let me take a look.
Bekros will attempt to disarm said device.
Save it for later if you can.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'll have this down in 2 shakes of a lost cat's tail.
Is that going to be a mechanics check?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's a mechanics check, and let's make it average difficulty to disarm.
Okay. So many of my talents deal with ships, but I do have mental tools. I always get to count as having the right tool for the job when performing mechanics checks, which I believe gives me a boost, or is it 2 boost? It's probably just a boost. I'm not gonna look it up, so we'll just take 1.
I think it's just a boost.
All right, here we go. You don't want to upgrade it or anything?
No, I'm okay with it.
So we got 2 failures
No despair, because you didn't upgrade.
because I didn't upgrade.
Well, guys, I have some good news and I have some bad news. I don't have the right tool for this. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to get it off the wall. But at least it's not exploded.
I have 1 advantage as a result.
What can you do with that advantage?
Can I see if there are any other linked detonators? If said trap is going to be a problem further down?
Could you reset the frequency to be on our comms instead of theirs?
Oh yeah, that'd be yeah. Can I?
I'm okay with that,
All right.
and I like it.
Except it's like on some kyber crystals, right?
Yes.
So we're not going to blow it up. We're just going to take care of it later.
Yeah.
Because that would probably also be a very large explosion.
You reset the frequency, and this red light that was blinking like every second starts to blink every other second. It's almost like it's not communicating in the same way anymore. So you have 2 paths ahead of you that seem to have some kind of threat, some kind of situation that's falling before you. And you've got 2 that probably have some Nihil in them.
I vote for the one with just the angry arguing.
I'll follow your intuition. Bekros?
Right behind you.
Okay, the 3 of you make your way down a path. It narrows a bit. These paths seem mostly carved out by the jelly worms of Bavva, but there's definitely evidence of the Nihil's presence. You can see areas that had especially large clusters of kyber that have actually been excavated in the last day or 2. As you continue forward, you can hear this arguing voice louder. You hear a voice muffled through a Nihil mask. The 3 of you sit back on that wall. I don't want any more moving. No more talk of snacks. If you were Nihil, you'd be smart enough to know that you don't ask for things like that. You Jedi are so weak. I can't stand it anymore.
Do we recognize the voice?
You recognize the voice as Din. I think that you have enough clearance that you can kind of get a vantage point on the situation if you want to.
Okay.
Who is he talking to?
Obviously, Horbo. Snacks?
I was thinking younglings.
I forgot about Horrible snacks. I even wrote that down as a note to remember that Horrible likes snacks the other day. But I forgot about that. Can we sneak up on Din there?
No stealth check necessarily required for you to get this vantage point. You see Din. Din is almost unrecognizable to the three of you, clad in Nihil garbs. Din holds in his hand a vibroblade and also what you may know as Horbo's light pike in his other hand. And he's clinking it on the floor, scolding, yelling at Horbo, a Quarren, and a Zeltron Padawan that seem to be very young. The three of you, you stay put and you don't move until I get orders from the captain. I don't want to hear another thing about it.
Do we hear Horbo say something, but Din has taken his translator?
The three of them are in binders, and Horbo's translator lays loose on his face, and you hear the roar of Horbo. And the three of you know Horbo just well enough to know that it's sad and probably involves snacks and probably also the safety of his master.
I think he's hungry, guys.
Don't forget tactical training. We wait until the Nihil are as far away from the hostages as possible before we move in.
Oh, we could go in now.
There's just one.
Is there really just one?
There are two other. They have blasters drawn on the three Padawan.
I want those blasters.
I was going to say,
Lodee, get the blasters.
I can pull 3 items out of opponent's grasps at long range.
That's great. This will be fun.
This is my signature move.
So you're going to take the blasters and the vibro knife and hope that Din cuts his own hand off the lightsaber?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Look, I can get the big one in the middle with the sword. You guys take care of the little ones. The guys with blasters.
I've got a bit of a bone to pick with Din.
Oh, is that Din? That one's Din?
And we told you about Din.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that was him.
Sounds like him.
Oh,
Recognize the mask.
okay.
I
Well,
recognize the
should we
voice.
switch? Do you want to take care of Din, and I get the guys, particularly if Lodee takes their blasters first. Like, gee.
Yeah, I'm taking their weapons.
I feel like Kel and Bekros have this conversation and Lodee just takes the blasters.
I just take them.
Yeah. But do we need to roll initiative first? Or can we sufficiently surprise them?
If you want to surprise them, you're going to have to do a stealth check.
are we doing stealth, or is Lodee taking the blasters, and Bekros, who's very enthusiastic, is just going to sprint after the target he's going to go after?
Lodee's not really feeling the point in doing stealth when she gets their weapons. She's just going to take their weapons. I can do it up to long range. So let me roll a force. 1 dark side, 1 light side.
Okay.
So I think maybe that means I get to grab 2.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So I grab 2 blasters from the 2 goons on either side of Din.
Okay. The blasters come flying through the air, and you hear Din say, "It's them! Go, get them, even without your blasters. For the Nihil, for the path of the storm." Okay, we're rolling initiative.
I wondered if that was next.
2 successes, 2 advantages.
2 successes, 2 advantages.
3 successes.
Oh boy.
1 die, right?
2
Okay.
for the peons. Wow. Y'all are having a lucky night tonight.
You're rolling a lot of dark side points, though. Dark side
That's
pips.
true. That's what I like. I want you to have an easy time, but have I want it to be easy, but very emotional. All 3 of you are first, and then the 2 of them, and then the 3 of them.
I think, though we are all taking turns, we move into this place simultaneously. We're all concentrating on the voices, on who is standing where, and the slightest shift in one of our stances indicates that we're about to move in, and there's a silent go in the heads of everybody as we move in simultaneously.
Lodee is a Naman disciple, which really fits with all of the move power uses that she does. So my thought is that she pulls Din towards her and slashes with her lightsaber. So I guess I spend force pips to get the move power, and I roll lightsaber.
You could probably close the distance, so you could maybe just narratively use move, right?
Right. Like, are you moving towards them or are they moving towards you?
Kind of in the middle. Like, I grab him with the force and pull him towards me as I'm striding towards him, and I just slash with the lightsaber.
Okay. I say go for it.
Does he have any defense?
No defense.
So I have a yellow and 2 green for my lightsaber. And what's the difficulty to attack Din?
I think it's going to be 2 purple.
I think he was adversary 1. I don't know if we want to keep that or not.
That makes it a red and a purple.
Okay. Red and a purple.
He does have 1 defense. The jerk.
Well, I have breach 1.
That only gets through soak, not defense.
I also have sunder.
That works on items.
I don't know
That works on
anything.
items.
It's a lot of advantages. Just advantages. 2 advantages and 2 dark side pips. So I successfully move him towards me, but I only get 2 advantages in slicing at him.
Yeah, so you can move him,
Yeah.
and you can use those advantages to influence, like, the outcome of that move, but I don't think you successfully, like, slash him with the lightsaber.
Okay.
Do you not have enhance?
I do.
You can't use that with lightsaber.
No, I don't have it that far.
Okay.
Okay. To use the dark side to move him.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you want to move him, you can push him and deal 10 damage to him.
That's true. I close the distance to him and I slash with my lightsaber, which I miss. So then I just slam him into a wall. No, into the ceiling.
It's a
Yeah.
clang.
My advantage is that he drops Harbo's pike.
Great. So this is going to deal damage to him. How do we deal damage? You're saying 10 damage?
Yeah.
Minus soak and defense?
Yeah, minus
defense
soak.
is just a setback, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Din drops to the floor. You hear the clatter of Horbo's force pike, and Horbo looks to it. It's very close to Horbo, and you can see that Horbo is assessing the situation, making plans. Who's next?
Bekros is also going to go after Din, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I think if Kel wants to go next, Bekros was essentially going to go wherever he was needed.
Okay.
If Bekros sees Kel go after Din, then he'll go after the minions, or vice versa.
Kel's going to go after the goons.
Okay.
He wants to make sure that they don't make the move to get their blasters back. So he moves across the room, igniting his lightsaber as he moves. It sort of follows a path behind him, and he swings it up at these 2 Nihil, aiming for non-vital bits. Vital for fighting, but non-vital for life. As he goes for hands, and that's going to be 8 damage.
And how do you disarm one of these 2 goons?
He swings his lightsaber up in between them, and one of them sees it coming and sort of hops out of the way, but the other one does not. And Kel lops off this guy's right hand at the forearm, and he sort of goes flailing back into the wall.
The blade passes through that hand, and a shock glove that was emitting a green kind of electric energy buzzes to a halt and kind of vibrates electrically on the ground.
So, jumping ahead just a little bit, Doug, Bekros has that imbue item talent, and that means that he can commit a force die to grant 1 weapon, piece of armor, or item for an improvement while the force dice remains committed, and he suffers 1 strain after every round that it remains committed. And Bekros likes to imbue his lightsaber with we're going to go blast quality
Wow.
again.
That's wild. I like it.
And because he's not very good at lightsaber, I'm going to flip, but Bekros charges Din, and while concentrating the force into the hilt of his primary lightsaber, swings with both of them.
Does
Okay.
that mean the blast would hit everybody engaged with Din?
I'm hoping nobody else is still engaged with Din since he got flung up to the ceiling. But if someone is, then I'll pick a different
Is
quality
it
real quick.
short? Like,
Wouldn't it hit
short
you as
range?
well?
That's a great question.
I'm pretty sure it would.
You do realize we're in a cave, right?
Cave full of kyber crystals. Okay, let me look at the other improvements, the pieces I could add. Oh, there's so many good ones here. I should have pulled this up a second ago. Sorry. I've got a force rating of 2. Okay, so I know I'm going to suffer some more strain for this, but I'm going to commit both force dice in order to imbue an item with 2 things. My request is to add superior. A superior item adds an automatic advantage as well as increasing the base damage by 1.
I think superior is kind of makes perfect sense.
Okay.
You've enhanced this weapon, or maybe like nobody's ever talked about it, but the lightsaber has all these little knobs and stuff. Like if you're a genius mechanic, okay, well, for only like minor uber nerds, I don't know that, but you fine tune the like frequency just right, and now it is superior.
And then second item is between 2. I'm happy to take votes. Either burn, just be a jerk that way, because burn would you do the weapon's based damage for the number of rounds equal to the weapon's burn rating. So it would just do the
same amount of
damage again.
Yeah.
Because it would only be 1. Or concussive, because that's what I was thinking of with blast, which is leaves the target shell shocked and is unable to perform actions for the rounds equal to the concussive rating.
That sounds pretty useful.
I think I'll go concussive.
I support it.
All right. I think Bekros really, really disliked being stabbed on that ship. And it's gotten a little bit mean. Here we go. There's a ton of dice here. Yes. We got a triumph. Let's see if this turns into a success. Oh my. All my difficulty dice, the challenge and the purple dice are blank. 1, 2. So we have a total of 1 success and 2 success and 2 advantage.
And a triumph.
And a triumph.
That's enough to hit with both weapons? With the 2 advantages?
Yes.
Or does that trigger concussive?
Let's see. Concussive does not say it needs advantage to activate. So I think that makes its default 2 advantage.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow. Okay. How much damage we doing here?
And did you include your superior advantage in that?
I did account for the superior advantage in there. I rolled quite a few threat. Did you mention something about Kel adding successes at one point? Is that an action he has to take, or is that...
That is...
Passive?
I do have to do that.
Okay.
It is passive, but I have to, probably do it before you roll your dice.
Fair enough. So that is going to be 16 damage with the breach quality. So it'll ignore 10 armor.
Okay. Bekros, you have subdued Din. Maybe killed them. Tell me how this played out and what you did exactly.
And I still haven't spent my triumph yet either.
It's true.
I think that Bekros is close behind Lodee as she charged in, and then when he saw Din fall from the ceiling, he took the opportunity to seize the initiative. You know, he stepped in, got in close, and just repeatedly the Force theme could begin to play, perhaps, or whatever the music is in Return of the Jedi, because I'm just viewing Luke Skywalker, the constant beating of a lightsaber down on Din, not letting him have an opportunity to get up until he is incapacitated. And if it takes a triumph, I'll spin the triumph on it, but he definitely loses a hand.
So Din lays there, incredibly wounded. We have one Nihil, I'm going to call it Nihil Grunt, no blaster.
Yep. Closest to me.
This Nihil Grunt is terrified, and I think they're going to flee, actually. What will you do?
I would like to try to stop them from fleeing.
Okay, go ahead.
What should I roll to do that?
Depends on how you want to do it.
You want to tell Lodee just to pick it up?
No, what I want to do is, just give him a whack to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is a brawl.
go for it.
I mean, it's not going to knock him out for sure. It's not going to knock him out.
Is there a way you can, enhance this roll to knock them out?
Well, I don't have enhance, so no.
Fair enough.
I would like to provide a boost die.
What are you doing?
So as you go to hit them in the back of the head, Lodee actually moved her lightsaber in front of them to block their path. So he sort of like took a step back just as your lightsaber hilt was going for the back of his head. So his force into your force boost die.
Cool. I'm going to say, I said brawl, but it's a melee. He is going with the butt of his lightsaber. You get that little like metal ball at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes, 3 advantages.
Okay. How do we calculate damage for this?
I think it would be 5 brawn plus 2 successes. I'm not calling this an improvised weapon.
5 plus 2?
Yeah.
7. This dude has Ahsoka 5.
Well, my 3 advantages are that he is knocked prone.
Okay, tell me what happens.
Lodee puts her lightsaber in front of him, and Kel goes, as he runs by him, hits him on the head with the butt of his lightsaber, and he goes down to the side into the wall of this tunnel and just falls to the ground. Still conscious, still able to fight if he wanted to, but with 3 very capable Jedi in this room.
And this is where I get to use a negotiation check.
The rumors he heard about these Jedi apparently are untrue.
Yeah, I think you broke this Nihil's mask into a point where this Nihil had to pull it off. It is coughing and spitting some blood onto the ground.
And Kel reaches out a hand and says, "Keys for the binders."
Talk to him.
Nihil points to Din.
I don't think he'll be talking to anybody for a long time. Why don't you go over there and get the keys for us?
This Nihil crawls over on all 4s and shuffles through some keys. I'm gonna flip a point. In the shuffling, the Nihil pulls out the keys and says,
Here you go. Unlock them. You Jedi.
coughing, still coughing, a little blood.
So predictable.
And the Nihil holds a comm to her mouth.
They're here.
And you hear the beeping of a detonator from the tunnel that you've traveled through. Within a second, a large explosion detonates.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Path of the Storm. Today's episode was produced by Nightcast Creative. To find out more about Nightcast Creative and the shows that we make, visit nightcastcreative.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Dicey Cantina and Erica Goodwitch. For more of Dicey Cantina, visit diceycantina.com or youtube.com/c/Dicey Cantina. Thank you to Sarah for lending her voice to this episode. The seed for this adventure can be found as the modular encounter, exploring the Akalbus Ruins, in the Nexus of Power supplement to the Star Wars role-playing game, from Fantasy Flight Games and Edge Studios.